It's time to react. What's going on, YouTube? Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Brad Steele channel. Steele Reactions. Yataka is where it's happening. Thank you guys for joining me on the radical bandwagon today for another reaction video. And
Have you pressed record yet?
Yeah.
You pressed record already?
They weren't ready, guys. I am going to be. Jacob has checked this out recently. He has not. This is BURNHAM Can't Handle This Kanye rant. I want to do this for two reasons. Number one, he hasn't seen it yet. And number two, I have more thoughts on it upon listening to it again, and I want to share those thoughts with you here today. So this is BURNHAM Can't Handle This Kanye rant. This is Dennis from King Family Reacts, and his channel's link is in the video description below. You need to go sub over there. He's got some good stuff. Jacob Restituto, his channel by his name, Jacob Restituto. Link to that in the description below. You need to check that out. And some of my covers and original music. Summer is coming past. The innocent can never last. Wake me up when September ends. He has never heard BURNHAM before.
Never.
And be on the lookout because I'm trying to get him, me and Jacob both trying to get him to check out some of the music from Inside. He hasn't seen the whole Inside special yet. I have. He needs to check some of it out, so be on the lookout for that. For right now, this is from a former Netflix special, Can't Handle This Kanye rant.
This is crazy.
Here we go.
I went to Kanye West's recent tour, the Yeezus tour. It was a big, dramatic, theatrical show. He did something very strange at the end of his show where he ranted for like 20 minutes. It was kind of a rant, kind of a song. He had auto-tune on his voice, and there was an instrumental in the background. Like this instrumental. He talked about his problems. Race, power. His $90 t-shirts weren't selling very well. That was most of it. And I watched this.
I love the production value of his live shows, like the little things, and you have to see, I guess, the rest of the special. But like, I love how he had dramatic music behind him, and then it starts immediately like this. It all flows so naturally.
I thought maybe I could do this. I'll be honest, my problems not as high stakes as Kanye's, but I have problems. And maybe a crowd in New York would be nice enough to indulge me. So as we get to the end of a night of theater and comedy and sweaters coming on and off, I got one question for you. And that question is...
Epic organ music. The whole mood, like, you could tell there's so much energy already, and he hasn't even, like, gotten into it yet. And the audience, like, you could tell, like, they have no idea, like, what's about to happen. Yeah. And then when the lights go down and the auto-tune hits.
So, Dennis, I have to say before he goes into this, he's controlling the auto-tune.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that until, like, 90% of the way through the video. And, like, the comments section was not super kind about the fact that I did not realize that he was controlling it.
How is he controlling?
A foot pedal.
Oh, okay. He has a foot pedal. Okay.
And so it's comedy, but you'll see. I'm not going to give it away. Here we go. Okay. This is the finale of this show.
Okay.
So this is the last thing.
Say, I got lots of to say.
I can't fit my hand inside a Pringle can. I have a huge amount of trouble fitting my hand inside of a Pringle can. I can get my hand like 4 inches into the can, but then I have to tilt the can into my mouth. But by that point, a bunch of crumbs have accumulated at the bottom of the can, so they all go spilling onto my face. What I'm trying to say is the diameter of Pringle cans is way too small. I'll say it again, the diameter of Pringle cans is way too small.
I think we've all been there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Having to tilt it over and then like...
and the part about the crumbs going spilling on the face.
Yeah.
Very relatable.
I haven't had a Pringle in forever.
We're going to get him some Pringles after
Oh,
this.
it sounds like a snack.
Yes.
The radius of a Pringle can is way too small. If you feel me, put your hands up. Come on. If you feel me, put your hands up. Look at all these hands that are way too big to fit inside a Pringle can. Your hands are too big to fit inside a Pringle cans. Your hands are too big to fit inside a Pringle can. You think you can? I know you can. You think you can? Pringles, listen to the people. I am sure 90% of the complaint letters you get are about the width of your cans. Just make them wider. I've overdone the Pringles thing. Sorry. I wanna have a daughter. Wanna have a daughter. So I can finally have someone around the house who can fit their hands in a Pringle can. Yes, I'm still on the Pringle cans thing. Yeah.
That actually got me the first time because I thought he was done with the Pringles thing. So when he went back, I was like, oh, man.
It just got me because I thought he was moving on. I was like, I was wondering where's he going on with the daughter thing. I knew he was going to go back to the
The musicality of man, I want to have a daughter. The echo.
Yeah,
was so
I love that, and I love just the subtle like piano in octaves. Dun, like kind of letting that ring out over the top.
Does he make the background music?
Probably. He's an excellent musician.
Really?
Yeah. You would like all the stuff from his latest special. He did all the music for like in his room and stuff like that.
I like the effect of the auto-tune, but I like the fact that he can actually sing.
Yeah.
That's like really cool too.
That's one of the things I talked about in my video because like when I saw this, so I was explaining how autotune works. Like if you're a bad singer, autotune's going to sound whack. It's going to go all over the place. Yeah. You actually have to be relatively on key.
Yeah, I mean, somewhere in the ballpark.
Exactly. Otherwise, it's going to be looking for the pitch, and it's just going to be fluttering. Yeah. It just won't work. So I was commenting that he actually, this is one of the first few things that I saw, and I was saying like he actually has to have a good voice for it to actually work.
He can actually sing. I like that.
Yep.
I'll move on. All right.
But that is priority numero uno.
Why do I have a feeling at the very end of it all, he's going to go back and say one more thing about the Pringles? I have a feeling.
We'll see.
I don't go to the gym because I'm self-conscious about my body. But I'm self-conscious about my body because I don't go to the gym. Irony can be so painful. That's a catch-22. Let's do this. I went to Chipotle. Got myself a chicken burrito. I went down the line. I got like all these ingredients, and then at the end of the line, the guy tried to wrap the burrito, but half of the inside the burrito spilled out. He still wrapped it. I was like, dude, you should have warned me. You're a burrito expert. You should have told me halfway through, hey man, you might be reaching maximum burrito capacity here. Do you think I want a messy burrito? No one wants a messy burrito.
No one wants a messy burrito.
Yes, I love one of my favorite parts as I've listened to it more is when he says, because I'm self-conscious about my body. I love how that echoes out.
So cool.
Yeah, and the most Bo Burnham reaction ever was when he did that. Irony can be so painful. And Dennis, first time hearing it, was like, ooh. You know, like that's because like Bo Burnham, he hits you with this comedy and you're like, that's funny. But then sometimes it's like, ooh.
Yeah. It hits. It's real, and the way he sang it was good too. So it's like, it hits you from both sides.
Yeah. And before we get done, I want to talk about the burrito analogy because some of you talked to me about that in the comments when I did this, and probably him too. Let's keep going.
The whole appeal of a burrito is that all of the ingredients are contained within the confines of the tortilla. I wouldn't have gotten half this if I knew it was gonna fit in the burrito. All right, look.
I wouldn't have got the lettuce if I knew it wouldn't fit. Wouldn't have got the cheese if I knew it wouldn't fit. Wouldn't have got the peppers if I knew they wouldn't fit. I wouldn't have got half of it. Like I'm okay with small mistakes. If you got no more chicken, I'll take pork. But I'll my dad before I eat a burrito with a fork. Wouldn't have got the lettuce if I knew it wouldn't fit. Wouldn't have got the cheese if I knew it wouldn't.
Wouldn't have got the peppers if I knew they wouldn't. Man, I wouldn't have got half of it like, half of it like, half of it like, half of it like,
half of it right now. I think it's time that we break it down.
I love that, like, you can feel like that urgency building, and he's talking about a burrito. Yeah. But when you see where this thing's going, it's like, oh, okay.
This is crazy. I'm thoroughly impressed with the presentation, how he can sing.
The lighting.
The lighting is really good. I didn't really know what to expect.
Yeah.
I thought maybe I was expecting just a guy kind of just walking back and forth,
Yeah.
doing some stand up, saying a line or two every now and then, and just
ain't
singing
that.
a little something. I was not expecting a full out performance like this.
A little technical lesson for you, who's not really a musician. What he did right there is something called the formant shift. Formant, I believe, formant, whatever the case is. It's that you notice how his voice got like thinner and more chipmunky and kind of like
As it went up. Yeah.
That's adjusting not the pitch but the actual shape of the voice.
Yeah.
The pitch stayed the same, but it was the way that the voice. It's I believe it's formant, right? It's the format of formant.
So he was kind of down, like maybe down, like as he was singing, like twisting this way
Changing
and
the
then twisting that
timbre
way.
of the voice, yeah.
Wow.
I can sit here and pretend like my biggest problem are Pringle cans and burritos. The truth is my biggest problem's you. I want to please you, but I want to stay true to myself. I want to give you the night out that you deserve, but I want to say what I think and not care what you think about it. A part of me loves you, part of me hates you. Part of me needs you. Part of me fears you. And I don't think that I can handle this right now. Handle this right now. I don't think that I can handle this right now.
I got to talk about that section because obviously we've gone from like laughing about burritos and Pringles to like, I saw your reaction to this and you talked about this too. This is how I feel so often, not just on YouTube, but I work at a church. I'm on stage performing in front of people all the time. And, you know, I'm a singer, I'm a songwriter, and like, even in everybody's personal life, you deal with this where like, man, you want to give people what they want. You want to please people. You want to give them, but at the same time, you'd love to just be who you are and that be enough. You know what I'm saying? And we deal with this, you know, particularly on YouTube. Even you deal with this where people, they want a certain thing from you, but you have something you want to give them. And I was listening to this in my car the other day because I wanted to hear it again after I heard it on YouTube, and like that section just like hit me even harder than it did when I filmed the reaction, because I was like, I feel that so much. You know,
relatable.
I feel it in a different way because I'm not a musician, I'm not a singer or anything like that. I feel it kind of in a different way from being a parent, to be honest with you. Trying to be the best that I can be, but knowing that there are times when I stumble and fall, like where I mess up parenting.
Yeah.
Like, and there are times where I want to give it my all, but there are times like, man, I need a dad break too.
Yeah.
Then I feel guilty about needing a dad break, and it makes me want to be a better dad. And then I feel like I can never reach the level to. Maybe I'm, reaching a little bit too much with that, but like that's kind of a way that I can, not so much with entertainment, but I can relate to it like personally like that.
Yeah, it's kind of one of this where, I mean, from his perspective, he's saying, I would love to just come out here and do what's in my heart and what I want, but sometimes I feel like I've got to do a certain thing to please all of you.
People,
yeah.
But when he was saying a minute ago, when he was like going up then going down, it's almost like you got like the angel on this shoulder and the devil on this shoulder.
That's what I felt like. Yeah.
But it also what blows my mind is he's kind of mitigating the harshness of what he's saying by like kind of distracting you at the same time.
Yeah.
With change, like it's almost like the pat on the back as you slap the person in the face kind of thing.
Yeah.
Brilliant. It's really
funny feeling.
It's really wild.
I don't think that I can handle this right.
Look at them, they're just staring at me like, come and watch the skinny kid with a steadily declining mental health, and laugh as he attempts to give you what he cannot give himself.
That I can handle this right. I don't think that I.
That line gives me chills. Wow. That line, and I hate to keep pausing it so much, but like, man, like attempting to give people what you can't even give yourself. Ooh. I mean, that's like, and one of the lines that like, it's just such a simple thing that he does in passing, but it hits me so hard is when he says, look at them, they're just staring at me.
Yeah.
When he said that, the way he said, look at them, they're just staring at me. And it's like, you almost feel like an animal in a zoo.
Yeah.
Like the people are just staring at you, waiting for you to do something that they can laugh at or take a picture of.
Yeah.
But it's part of that kind of double entendre too, because that's the intention is to get their attention.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're just
Then you have it. It's like, oh, great.
it's like, yeah.
And then, of course, the line, come watch the skinny kid with a declining mental health and laugh.
And knowing where he was
Yes.
after this.
And we'll talk about that at the end because I don't want to give it all away for him. But here we go.
Handle this right, but they don't even know the half of this right.
But they don't even know the half of it. But I know I'm not a doctor. I put on a silly show. I should probably just shut up and do my job. So here I go. When I got the lettuce, if I knew it wouldn't fit. When I got the cheese, if I knew it wouldn't fit. When I got the peppers, if I knew they wouldn't.
So that line right there, he said, I should just probably do my job. He's like, you know what? Like, almost like, you know what? They don't want to hear my rant. They just want to hear
they want to laugh.
show. Yeah. And it's like,
but you know what?
That's the whole point that he's making at the beginning.
Yeah, and I got to talk about this because with the burrito thing, when I first heard this, I was like, oh, it's funny. And I don't know if you had people in your comments saying this too, but apparently he said in an interview that the burrito is kind of a metaphor, and everything he said about the burrito earlier is for the fame and the notoriety he's gotten. When he was talking about getting the burrito, and it's like, man, if I'd have known that it was going to fill up and spill out, and I wouldn't have got it. I wouldn't have got half of it. It was his way of talking about how he feels about fame and the attention he's gotten is that it's spilling out of him, and he's like, if I'd have known that it was going to be like this, I wouldn't have got half of it. He's been very vocal about the fact that he does not enjoy most of the time being famous and feeling like he has to put on a show for people. So the burrito thing was kind of like a big metaphor, and now he's going back. So it's a double meaning. Yes, he's going back to doing his shtick, but at the same time, he's saying, again, I wouldn't have got the fame if I knew it wouldn't fit. I wouldn't have got the money if I knew it wouldn't fit.
But before we go into that, I heard a quote. You guys both know who Stephen Furtick is.
Oh, yeah.
And he said that he had a little quick message about saying how so often we want people's success without having and noticing and recognizing and taking on their sacrifice.
Yeah.
You can tell them anything if you just make it funny, make it rhyme. And if they still don't understand you, then you will run it one more time. Think that I can handle this right. Handle this right. Handle this right. You don't even know the half of this right now.
Thank you. Good night. I hope you're happy.
And then drops the mic and leaves.
Oh,
there was something about the part when he said do my job and he was bringing all that stuff back in. And I think he was saying, just say a couple of things and make it funny or whatever.
Yeah.
That kind of looked like, as long as there's a spotlight and some kind of silhouette, if you just give him what it wants, it doesn't even matter who you are, because you couldn't even see him at all.
Yeah.
It didn't matter who it was. There was a light and a silhouette saying something.
I love when he gives that look and he says, thank you, I hope you're happy. And we've talked about this in the comments. I love talking to you guys in the comments about this stuff. It's almost a double meaning again of like, I genuinely hope you're happy. I hope this show made you happy, but also a kind of a smart aleck, like, I hope you're happy. Look at what you did to me, and that's how it is. I mean, it's a double-edged sword, what he does and trying to please everybody. So here's the story behind this.
What's the story?
He had to, shortly after this, and please correct me if I'm wrong here, but he had to stop performing like right after this was his last tour. He had to stop performing for 5 years because he had started having panic attacks on stage, and like he would still do his show while he was having a panic attack. He knew his show so well that he could do it while having a panic attack. Wow. And so he came out afterwards and said that in that part right there he was having a panic attack. When he was doing the yelling into the mic and stuff like that, and he was like moving around. He said after this show he like put the mic down and went backstage and just sobbed for like 2 hours and like had an anxiety attack and a panic attack. And it was so bad. I mean, it was happening to him like every night. He had to come off, like stop performing for 5 years, and then he came back and did the Netflix special, which was his first thing in 5 years. So, and he talks about it in the Netflix special. He tells it way more eloquently than I could. But yeah, it's very interesting to watch it back and know what he was going through here, you know, while he was up there doing that. And he's been vocal about his mental. He even mentioned it in this song that he has struggles. So, Dennis, it's your first time.
This is kind of like, this is a good place to start because you get to see the entertainment, but you also get to see someone who is struggling with themselves be vulnerable in an unvulnerable kind of way, but a vulnerable kind of way. Like, I can appreciate the openness there, and I really like. I'm sitting here feeling for the guy. Like, oh my gosh. And I'm glad. And during the 5 years break, I'm guessing he found some kind of way to deal with it or something.
Yeah, he talks about it in the special, and I don't want to give it away.
I'll find the details of that, but you know.
But it is perfect because this was the last thing he did before he went off and then came back. So you literally just saw the last.
It's a good starting place.
Yeah. And it's amazing because it's comedy, and he says a lot of funny things. Like he went from the Pringles and the burritos to, hey, I'm really struggling up here. And so it's interesting. And I had a lot of people in the comments. I feel like this is going to be a really long video, but I had a lot of people in the comments who were saying, you know, I don't know how to feel about the fact that they just erupted in applause when he got done, because it was like, yes, you're almost proud of the guy.
Acknowledging it.
You're proud of him for pushing through, but he's right. You tell him anything, just make it funny. You know, like, it doesn't matter. And there's so many times where he says something that's really not funny. It's really sad, but people laugh because they're at a comedy show and they feel like they're supposed to laugh. You know, there's a lot of nervous laughter, I think. But thank you guys for joining us today on the Bradical Bandwagon.
Yataka
indeed. After all that, Yataka. Thank you guys. Their links to their channels are in the video description below. He's done some reactions to Bo Burnham, and we'll do some more. He is about to start checking them out, so you want to go over there and go on that journey with him. And thank you guys for joining us. Sweet! Okay, thank you guys for joining us. Take it in, soak it up. Bye, everybody.
Wake me up when September ends. Like my father's come to pass. 20 years has gone so fast. Wake me up when September ends.